Hi, my name is Rudy and I'm a consultant with Denning IT Sdn Bhd. The biggest mistakes that lawyers make when running a law firm is to run a firm based on people. Based on people's skills, based on people's abilities to draft and provide reports and so on. A better way to run a firm is to run a firm that's based on good processes and good systems. The purpose of today's video is to show you one such system developed by Denning IT Sdn Bhd, and it's called the Denning Law Office Suite. If you look at the screen, I'm going to turn on the system, and this is the interface that all lawyers and clerks will work with in the Denning Law Office Suite. As you can see, this system here will be linked through a network. All lawyers and clerks' PCs will be joined with a server, and everyone will have their own user ID and password. Now, this is important to protect the privacy settings of the law firm, as well as the system will use these credentials to give reports to the partners on how much work each staff is doing. So I've just logged in with my demo account, and I'm going to segment this presentation into 7 parts. The first part, I'm going to show you the file opening feature of the system, where the clerks will use the system on a daily basis to register new files. The second part, I'm going to show you the file searching feature, where clerks will use this system, and lawyers can also use the system to check on file information, file status, without having to search for the hard copy. The third part is the document generation feature, where this system can actually take over a lot of the standard document drafting work. Most of the work which lawyers employ clerks to do, the system can automate. The fourth part will consist of document management, how the system organizes and sorts previously drafted letters, forms, agreements, and so on. Then we'll move on to KIV before I show you billing and accounting, as well as management tools. So that's 7 segments. The first part is file opening. It's very simple. All the clerk needs to do is go to Add Matter and select what category of file she or he wants to open. For example, if you're opening up an SPA file, they'll just click on SPA / SPA related loan, and it brings them to a file opening page. Now, the clerk's job is very simple. All the clerk needs to do is to fill in the data entry form, as you can see here. They fill in the people in charge of the file's locations, vendor purchaser information, price, properties, and charged, and doing the loan, then the loan information, bank, solicitor, borrower, guarantor, so on. Loan. After this is done, the clerk clicks save, and the file is effectively open. So file opening is very simple. It's just a matter of filling in a form. And as you'll see shortly, this pretty much does all the work that the clerk would traditionally do in a manual law firm. The second part of the demo, I'm going to show you how this system facilitates file searching. So let's say you receive a call from a client and you need to obtain information on the file quickly to give him that detail over the phone. Typically, you'll have to search for the hard copy file in order to provide this information. But with this system here, all you do is click on File Listing, and you can conduct a quick search based on any of the criteria here. For example, file reference number, client name, date open, partner LA Clark, bank title details, and whatnot. So say you don't remember the reference number, all you know is the client name. You can just click client name and do a search. Let's say Mr. Wu. So let's say the second result here is the file that is relevant to the one I need to look at. I'll just double click on it, and instantly I can see the file information. You can see the vendor purchaser information, the file info, property information, loan, and so on. Now you see that these small view details buttons next to the field, so click on it and it will open up a new window, show you the more detailed information about the client, about property, and so on. So that's file searching. In the fourth part, I'll show you how status updates and documents can also be viewed from this interface. But anyway, let's move on to the third segment, which is document drafting. Typically, you have to pay a clerk a lot of money to do repetitive drafting work, changing the names of the vendors and purchasers, plaintiff defendants, property information, dates, payments, and whatnot. Now, the system automates this process like this. If you note that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 document generation pages here, when we click through them, you'll see that we have letter templates here, we have form templates, agreement, bank document, and project document templates, if any. So what happens is your firm can put in your own customized templates into the system. They'll be sorted under customized templates. The ones I'm showing you now are system templates, which are the ones that our company provides to you bundled in the system. So let's say the clerk needs a letter to register to enclose stamp SPA and form completion date. By putting your template in here, all the clerk needs to do is select the template that they need, double click, click view. Now all the data that the clerk keys in the data entry part is then automatically filled into the template. As you can see, the date, the reference number, the addressee, the property details, vendor purchaser price, dates are all filled in automatically by the system. So this shortcuts a lot of the standard work that your firm needs to do. Let's take a look at another one. Let's look at a form, a MOT for a C2M company selling to multiple purchasers. Now, rather than training your clerks on how to fill in the form, how to write a letter, the system basically shortcuts this entire process. As you can see, all the details are all filled in automatically. So apart from the obvious benefit of being able to do the work a lot quicker, you also ensure more accuracy and consistency of the documentation, because all the information here, the names and whatnot, come from a single source, which is the file, price and property, and loan data entry pages. As a partner, your only job is to ensure that the data here is keyed in correctly. If the data is correct, then you can be assured that all the letters, forms, agreements, bank documents, project documents will be perfect. So let's take a look at another document. You basically can put in any document that you want. You can put in agreements, you can put in letters, forms, bank documents. It's up to you. Training will be provided on how to customize these templates and put them into the system. This is a Schedule G sample SPA. As you can see, the payment schedule is all filled in, so you don't even need your calculator on your desk anymore. You can throw it away. Schedules all filled in, signing page report. So that's document generation. This is one of the major benefits of having a system where you don't have to rely on the clerks to generate documents. The system does it as long as the clerks do the file opening properly. Let's move on to the next part, which is document management. Document management is done under this icon here, the file folder. Every file, for example, this individual file for Mr. Hu Wei Mi here, will have its own file folder. And the system will sort all the forms, emails, letters, documents, scanned documents into this folder for easy referencing. For example, if I want to see the Borang 11 AK for this case, I can just double click and I can open it directly from the file folder without having to look through individual folders or look through a partner's computer, laptop, directories and whatnot. Typically in a manual law firm, you keep these files in your own folders on your own computer, but the dangerous part is if the computer gets lost, then all your precedents are gone. For our system here, we centralize all the documents so that number one, it's easy to search for a particular precedent that you need, and number two, the server has its own backup processes so that you know that your precedents are a lot more secure. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the KIV features of the system. Now for conveyancing, this conveyancing file, we have three main KIV features to look at, which is file note, file task, and checklist. File note replaces the typical practice where you will write the status updates on the hard copy cover. Now that's a problem because when the hard copy gets lost, then you don't have the status update to give to your client or to your partners or colleagues. What we do is, instead of writing it on hard copy cover, simply key it into the file note feature here. All the file notes are categorized chronologically from newest to oldest. And if you want to add a new one, all you do is click add and type whatever you want. Once you click save, everybody in the firm with a terminal will be able to see these file notes instantly without having to refer to the hard copy. This is very advantageous because it allows people to work independently without having to bug or annoy each other in the firm. In addition to that, if you want to prepare a report for your client, all you have to do is click on the print button. You can click export to Excel. The system will collate all these reports and present them in Excel format. You can instantly email this file to your client if he wants a quick status report. Let's move on to the next part, which is the file task. In a law firm, there's a lot of micromanaging going on. The partner has to ask the clerk, have you done this? Have you conducted a search? Have you got a redemption statement? Have you done the presentation of title for registration and so on? Now, of course, that's annoying for a clerk because the clerk has a lot to do in they don't really have time to answer partners' individual queries and whatnot. So what our system does is we have this file task function where it's a worksheet that the clerks update as the file progresses along. And if the partner is a workaholic, he wants to check on the status at 3 AM, he doesn't have to call the clerk. All he has to do is just check the status from this screen right here. And we can see loan tasks, presentation tasks, R&R, title return, and so on. Now, of course, the benefit is I can see the status, the progression of the file on this screen here for this file. Or I can also go to the main overview button here, start homepage, where I can see the overall progress of all the files in the firm. Now let's look at the middle and the right column here. SPA completion date alert. We can have a summary of all the SPAs. For example, I have 46 files in over extended completion date stage. And I can also click on the individual buttons here to sort through the individual stages. Benefit for the partners, we'll know exactly what's going on with all the SPAs in our firm. Benefit for the clerk is that they can have better prioritization of the work, in the sense that I can know which files are more important and which are less. The middle column shows me a conveyancing progress summary alert. If you ever want to know how many files you have in your firm with unexecuted loan documents, you click here. It'll give you a summary report of all the files in your firm where the loan documents have not been executed yet. You can see the details of each file. You can double click to enter the particular file if you need to. Unpaid stamp duty, 8 files, click on it. It'll show you the 8 files in the summary report. Okay. Now going back to the file, the last KIV feature you need to look at is the checklist feature. Now the checklist feature was designed more for non-standard matters, for example, litigation, trademark and registration, corporate matters, where you have to design a customized workflow. So all your customized workflows will go under the checklist code menu. You can select the particular workflow to apply to the file. And when the clerk clicks checklist, the workflow will pop up, showing them step 1, conduct land search, step 2, prepare SPA, step 3, prepare Form 14A, so on and so forth. The partners can also use the checklist as a KPI system to detect the performance, turnaround performance of the file. Partners can set the start date, the estimated dates for completion of each task, and the system will automatically calculate a due date. So when the clerk clicks done, the system will automatically grab the system date and put it here to indicate to the partner when exactly this task was completed. So the partners have the benefit of knowing, are we achieving our performance, key performance indicators. Now let's look at litigation KIV really quickly. There's one extra feature for litigation. Litigation has a file note, it has checklist. It also has another feature called the court diary, which of course keeps track of the hearing dates, hearing appointments for the individual party. For example, we have a couple of hearings here, the dates are shown, the case number, case name, the court type, the place, the hearing type, is it a mentioned case management, who is the counsel assigned, who is it deferred. So if we need to add a new appointment, we can just click here, and we can just key in the details of the hearing. And the lawyer in charge will be able to see that he's assigned to the case. Now next, let's look at billing and accounting. The typical problems that law firms face when it comes to billing is clerks may not know what items to charge, and when they do, they may not know the exact calculation formula to use to calculate the particular charges involved. Now, how we solve this problem is we created this feature called the billing codes, which are essentially templates except in billing form. So all the clerks need to do is choose from the billing code preset bill listing, the type of matter that they want to bill for, say SPA loan and consent to charge for the state of Selangor. They click B, and instantly the system detects the purchase price and loan amount keyed in by the clerks, and it will automatically calculate the fees, disbursement and tax to be charged to the client. If you want to see the items, you can click on these 3 buttons here. You can see the disbursements are all there, stamp duty calculated according to formula, items all put in, fees, SPA fees, loan fees and so on. Of course, if you want to vary the template for this particular situation, you can click on an item, you can remove the item, you can add an item, or you can change charges accordingly. Okay. It won't affect the template, it's just a one-off thing. So once you're satisfied with the bill, all the clerk needs to do is click preview and generate the bill. They don't have to do any drafting. The bill is automatically prepared as such. Okay, pretty nice and neat right there. You can just click print to print the bill, or print image to save a soft copy into the file folder. Now after the bills are all issued, the system also affords you bill analysis features. For example, you can see a bill listing for all the bills. You can see an outstanding bill listing to see which bills have not been collected yet. Okay, part paid bills, bill 6,000, paid 5,000. You can generate reports. And you can see unbilled file listing, which are files which have not even had a bill issued yet. That's billing. Let's move on to client accounting. Typically, you have to pay a client accountant a good sum of money to coordinate your receipts, your vouchers, and updating your client ledger, which is the most important thing. Ledgers always have to be updated. The non-updating of ledgers leads to a lot of issues in firms nowadays when it comes to client accounting. In addition to that, after these everyday transactions are performed, client accountant also has to prepare service tax, ledger listing reports, and various other reports for accounting purposes. Now let's look at receipts to begin with. Now issuing a receipt is very simple. It's just a matter of data entry. Just key in the bill number, account type, file number, received from which party, amount, transaction, and payment mode, cash or check. Click preview and you choose an A5 or A4 format receipt. The system will automatically create the receipt. Okay. You can print it out if you want to, or you can save a soft copy. Now, if we go on to voucher, again, it's simple data entry: file number, bill number, account, pay to who, voucher amount, transaction description, mode. The system also automatically creates vouchers. The underlying benefit here is every time you issue a receipt or a voucher, the ledger is automatically updated. Let me show you an example. If we open up the file we were looking at earlier, the ledger button here, as you can see, all the fees and disbursement, the receipts and vouchers, general journal, they are all automatically recorded under the ledger without having to do the double work of issuing a receipt and subsequently updating the ledger. The system does it automatically. At the end of the day, the client accounting feature here also allows you to automatically generate reports. If you need a tax listing report, you don't have to manually compile it. Just choose what kind of report you need based on transferred, received, or billing, and select date. For example, from 1st of April to 31st of May, these are all the invoices for that period. So I'll just click save, click print, and it will automatically prepare a service tax report for me. Give me the total amount of taxes I have to pay for that period. Simple. If you need a ledger listing, just go to trial balance, select what account types you need a listing for, and choose a period. Let's go back to 2009. Typically, this takes a very long time for a client accountant to prepare. It's a very tedious task. But when you have a proper system, you have a nice database keeping everything organized, it's as simple as this to create a ledger listing. Ledger listing from Thursday 1st January to Tuesday 31st December, account number, account name, date, transaction, description, pay, withdrawal, deposit balance, all the bank account ledgers, as well as all the client account ledgers, funds recall, Wuchin Hot client account, account, so on. Very easy to do your own law firm accounting. Now the final part I want to show you are the management tools of the system, starting with analysis, office, library, and database. Now analysis is known as big data, whereby the system analyzes the usage of the application and provides you with meaningful reports which are very advantageous to the managing departments. You can see things like staff performance, file and fee income by partner, file and fee income by LA, file and fee income by clerk. You can sort by period if you want to see monthly or daily or weekly reports. This allows you to know the quantitative value of each staff, how much is the contribution made by each one in the firm. You can also see things like meta-analysis. What category of work is bringing you the most income? Is it your conveyancing department, your discharge of charge, your litigation department, or so on? You'll have advantage in knowing your top clients. So how do you streamline your marketing efforts? Top clients by number of files or by fee income generated. If you're doing a lot of bank work, you can also see things like which bank manager you should probably take out to lunch more often, or bank branch manager, depending on how many files you can run. And things like fees growth, number of files with entering the envelope. The second part is the office system, which is a very simple HR database where you have all the records of all the staffs kept here. Now you can see things like personal information, contact information, employment information, monthly salary, when is the previous salary adjustment, annual leave days remaining, tax, IRD, SOX or EPF information of each staff. Library is as what it says, it's a library system which allows you to catalog all your library books, and you can also get staff to do digital loan registers. For example, if you borrow a book, you're keyed into the system, and the system will help you keep track of book returns, so that at the end of the day you'll know who hasn't returned your precious, expensive library books. Okay, the last feature is the database function here, where mainly it concentrates around privilege settings. So if you want to control the privacy in your firm, you can select from all this list of user accounts here. For example, Mr. Andrew, I don't want him to be involved with billing. I can remove his privileges to view, edit, delete, and add bills. I don't want him to work on any conveyancing SPA files. I can just remove his privileges in viewing, editing, deleting, and adding files as well. You can control privilege settings down to a very specific degree with the system. Okay, finally, you have the Help tab. In addition to the on-site training that our consultants provide in your firm, you can also have access to resources like training kit, how to use folder management, how to create a bill, how to customize template, and so on. There's also a built-in chat function where you can chat with the consultant, ask them questions on how to use the system, and also a quick support button where our support team can do a remote access session to show you how to use certain features or to troubleshoot issues for you. Thank you for your attention. It's been a pleasure showing you the system. If you want to know more, go to www.denning.com.my, that's denning.com.my, or give us a call at 016-626-0400, 016-626-0400. Thank you, I'm Rudy Chiu, and it's been a pleasure.